In a bustling spaceport café, human xenobiologist Dr. Alex Mercer and alien Lian, Lyra, share a cookie, triggering an interstellar crisis. This simple act could rewrite the future of two civilizations plunged into chaos and mistrust. Amidst rising tensions and ancient grievances, will one small gesture spark the ultimate ethical dilemma? What price will be paid for peace and unity? If you want to dive into real stories of parallel realities every day, in enigmatic, technological worlds that are completely different from our planet, subscribe to our channel and leave your like. Well, let's go. In a bustling spaceport cafe, a human xenobiologist and an alien Lian share a simple cookie, leading to an emergency that threatens interstellar peace. What unfolds from this accidental gesture could reshape the future of two civilizations. How does a mere cookie trigger a crisis, and can ancient treaties forge a new era of harmony? Stay tuned to witness a thrilling journey of suspense, alliance, and the pursuit of peace in the galaxy. Chapter 1. Dr. Alex Mercer, a dedicated xenobiologist working on the human colony of NOOA, often visits the bustling cafe at the spaceport. It's a melting pot of diverse species, each with stories and experiences from the far reaches of the galaxy. The cafe, known as Starhaven, is a hub of interstellar activity, and its vibrant atmosphere is filled with the sounds of multiple languages and the scents of exotic foods. The walls are adorned with holographic displays showcasing various planets and species, a constant reminder of the vast and diverse galaxy they inhabit. Alex is in his late 30s, with sharp features, piercing blue eyes, and a mop of unruly dark hair that constantly falls into his face. His worn lab coat, despite the casual setting, hints at his relentless dedication to his work. A scientist with a compassionate heart, Alex is known for his tireless efforts in understanding alien biologies and cultures, always driven by an insatiable curiosity and a desire to bridge the gaps between different civilizations. He often frequents the cafe after long hours in the lab, seeking a moment of respite and the occasional chance to learn something new. On an ordinary day, as he sips his favorite maca brew, his keen eyes fall on Lyra, an alien Lian who exudes an aura of curiosity and intelligence. The Lians are a reclusive but highly advanced species with iridescent blue skin, elongated limbs, and eyes that seem to shimmer like starlight. Lyra, in particular, has a striking appearance with her intricate silver markings that run from her temple down to her arms, a sign of her high rank in Lian society. Her translucent garments flow gracefully, reflecting the light as she moves, making her presence almost ethereal. Intrigued by her aura and the calm confidence she exudes, Alex watches as she examines a digital menu, her eyes wide with wonder. His curiosity gets the better of him, and he approaches her, initiating a dialogue rich in cultural exchange. "Mind if I join you?" Alex asks, gesturing to the empty seat beside her. Lyra's eyes meet his, filled with a sense of openness and intrigue. She nods, allowing him to sit. Their conversation blooms, with Lyra expressing her fascination with human customs, particularly their food and social rituals. She speaks with a melodic voice, her words imbued with a genuine interest that makes the conversation flow effortlessly. Alex shares stories of Earth, describing the beauty of its landscapes, the diversity of its species, and the rich tapestry of human cultures. In turn, Lyra shares insights into Lian traditions, their advanced technologies, and their philosophical approach to life. She tells Alex about the Lian belief in harmony and balance, reflected in their art, architecture, and even their dietary habits. To extend the warmth of their budding friendship, Alex offers her a traditional human treat, a cookie. It's a simple gesture, but one filled with significance. The cookie, wrapped in a decorative paper, is a symbol of trust and camaraderie between them. Alex explains that it's made from a family recipe, passed down through generations. Lyra, intrigued by the quaint delicacy, takes the cookie with a sense of ritualistic reverence. She examines it closely, noting the intricate patterns on its surface and the subtle aroma wafting from it. Unaware of the potential risk, she takes a bite. Almost instantly, her body reacts violently. Her shimmering skin pales and contracts, contorting in ways that seem unnatural. Her breathing becomes labored, and her eyes glaze over in pain. Alarms in the café blare as emergency medical teams rush in. The serene and engaging atmosphere shatters, replaced by chaos and fear. Patrons scatter, some shouting in panic, others frozen in their seats. The café, once a place of cultural exchange and mutual respect, now becomes a ground zero for a crisis. Alex's heart races as he tries to stabilize her, his scientific mind battling with his growing panic. He calls out for help, his voice barely audible over the cacophony. The medical team, equipped with advanced diagnostic tools and technologies, arrives within moments. They work swiftly to assess her condition, their movements precise and coordinated. Lyra is hurried onto a hovering stretcher, her body convulsing as the medical team administers care. Alex follows closely, a mix of guilt and fear etched on his face. He can see the suspicion in the eyes of the other patrons, the whispered accusations growing louder. The café, now a hive of speculative chatter, becomes a crucible of tension. As the medics whisk Lyra away to the station's medical wing, Alex is left in the wake of the chaos, grappling with the implications of the incident. He knows that this is more than just a medical emergency, it's a diplomatic and cultural crisis in the making. The bonds of trust and respect that had been so delicately nurtured between humans and Lians now hang by a thread. In the aftermath, Alex finds himself outside the medical wing, his mind racing with questions and doubts. He is acutely aware that the entire colony will soon learn of the incident, and the potential fallout could be catastrophic. The Lians, already wary of human intentions, might see this as a deliberate act of aggression. He paces the sterile corridors of the medical wing, replaying the events in his mind. How could something as innocuous as a cookie cause such a violent reaction? The question gnaws at him, fueling his determination to find answers. He knows that understanding the cause is the first step toward fixing the damage and possibly preventing an interstellar conflict. As he waits for news, he reflects on his own responsibilities. As a xenobiologist, his role is to understand and respect the biological and cultural differences between species. Yet, despite his expertise, he had made a critical oversight. It's a humbling realization, one that deepens his resolve to make things right. Hours later, a medic emerges from the treatment room. The look on her face is grim but not hopeless. She provides Alex with a preliminary report. Lyra's reaction was likely due to an unknown chemical compound within the cookie, something that her Lian physiology could not tolerate. This revelation, while helpful, is only a partial answer. What exactly is this chemical compound, and how did it end up in the cookie? Alex thanks the medic and makes his way back to the lab. He knows his work is just beginning. The stakes are incredibly high. He must not only identify the compound but also ensure that the misunderstanding doesn't escalate into something far worse. He gathers samples, running tests with a single-minded focus. Chapter 2. As Lyra is hurried to the medical wing, the once lively spaceport cafe now echoes with the piercing wails of emergency alarms. Alex's heart races as he watches the emergency medical teams surround Lyra, isolating her from the crowd with portable barriers and advanced scanning devices. The Lian, who had moments ago been engaging in an innocent cultural exchange, now lay writhing on the floor, her ethereal luminescence flickering like a dying flame. In the chaotic aftermath, Alex is enveloped in a maelstrom of emotions: guilt, dread, and a paralyzing realization of the gravity of what has just transpired. His thoughts churn as he retraces every moment of his interaction with Lyra, questioning what had gone wrong. Was it a particular ingredient in the cookie? Or an unforeseen reaction between human and Lian biochemistry? Despite the cacophony around him, a singular purpose sharpens in Alex's mind. Find the cause and remedy this perilous situation. At the same moment, the spaceport, a hub of interstellar travelers and diverse alien species, teems with a different kind of activity. Whispers ripple through the throng of onlookers, conversations steeped in fear and suspicion. The Lians, a species known for their deep-rooted traditions and cautious demeanor, congregate in tight clusters, their whispered conversations laced with accusation. The atmosphere thickens with an almost tangible tension, a powder keg waiting for a spark. Back in the medical wing, the advanced scanning devices hum to life, dissecting Lyra's physiological responses. Medical personnel, human and alien alike, work frantically to stabilize her. Clad in sterile suits, they move with practiced precision, their faces obscured behind translucent visors. Alex, despite not being part of the medical team, is granted access due to his expertise in xenobiology. He rushes to join the attending physicians, his mind already working through the myriad of possibilities that could have led to Lyra's distress. "I need to see her blood work," Alex demands, a hint of desperation coloring his usually calm demeanor. Dr. Kumar, the head of the medical team, nods curtly and gestures toward the central console. Complex data streams across the screen, depicting Lyra's vitals in real time. Her body is reacting violently, Dr. Kumar explains, her voice a blend of professionalism and concern. It seems her immune system has gone into overdrive, attacking what it perceives as a threat. Alex frowns, his eyes narrowing as he processes the information. Among the Lian people, he knows, their immune responses are exceptional, capable of adapting to a wide range of biochemical environments. For something as harmless as a cookie to trigger such a response was both baffling and alarming. Diving deeper into the chemical analysis of the cookie, Alex's gaze falls on an unusual compound, a seemingly harmless preservative commonly used in Earth-based foods but alien to Lian physiology. Meanwhile, beyond the sterile walls of the medical wing, the political ramifications of the incident are beginning to metastasize. The Lian ambassador, a stern figure adorned in traditional garb that signifies his high rank, arrives at the spaceport. His presence alone amplifies the strained atmosphere. He strides through the corridors with a retinue of advisors and security personnel, his expression a mask of controlled outrage. The ambassador's entrance into the medical wing is met with tense silence. Alex looks up from his work, meeting the ambassador's gaze with a mix of trepidation and determination. "Dr. Mercer," the ambassador intones, his voice cold and formal. "Explain yourself." Alex swallows hard, aware that every word he utters could either quell the brewing storm or fan its flames. He explains the situation in precise, scientific terms, detailing the accidental nature of the exposure and his ongoing efforts to understand Lyra's reaction. "You must understand, Ambassador," Alex implores, "this was not intentional. I'm doing everything in my power to determine the cause and find a solution." But the ambassador remains unimpressed. "Intentional or not," he replies icily, "the fact remains that a member of my species has been harmed. We cannot overlook the possibility of this being a deliberate act of aggression." As the ambassador's words hang heavily in the air, they are a stark reminder of the fragile peace that exists between humans and Lians. Historical animosities, buried but not forgotten, resurface, casting a shadow over the possibility of reconciliation. Political factions on both sides seize upon the incident, each spinning their own narrative to suit their agenda. Within hours, news of the incident spreads like wildfire, not just within the spaceport but across the galaxy. Media outlets, human and alien alike, broadcast sensationalized reports, each more speculative than the last. Accusations of bioterrorism fly, and conspiracy theories gain traction. Among the general populace, fear and distrust fester. Amidst this growing turmoil, Alex throws himself into his work with renewed vigor. Operating on minimal sleep, he scrutinizes every detail of Lyra's condition, cross-referencing her symptoms with known Lian physiology. He consults with colleagues, both human and Lian, leveraging their collective expertise. Together, they hypothesize that Lyra's adverse reaction may be linked to her unique genetic makeup, influenced by her native planet's environment, an aspect overlooked in the cookie's composition. In parallel, Alex reaches out to Lian scientists, appealing to their sense of scientific curiosity and duty to uncover the truth. These collaborative efforts begin to show promise, as they identify an enzyme in Lian biochemistry that reacts unpredictably with the preservative found in the cookie. This revelation, while a breakthrough, brings little comfort. The damage to interstellar relations has already been done, and now Alex faces the monumental task of not just curing Lyra but also mending the rift between the species. As hours turn into days, the political landscape continues to shift. Diplomatic channels are flooded with messages, meetings, and negotiations. Human and Lian representatives work tirelessly to craft a narrative that emphasizes unity and cooperation over division and conflict. Despite their best efforts, divisions within both camps threaten to undermine the fragile peace. Back in the medical wing, Lyra's condition stabilizes slowly but steadily. This slight improvement fuels Alex's resolve. He develops a treatment protocol that targets the destabilizing enzyme, leveraging both human and Lian medical technologies. The process is intricate, requiring meticulous adjustments and real-time monitoring of Lyra's responses. Amidst these efforts, Alex finds himself the target of scrutiny and judgment. Officials, media personnel, and even colleagues question his role in the incident, despite his unwavering dedication to resolving it. Rumors circulate that Alex may have been careless or worse, intentionally reckless. These insinuations weigh heavily on him, but he remains steadfast, driven by a commitment to scientific truth and justice. Alex's mind was a whirlwind of anxious thoughts as every eye in the spaceport seemed to scrutinize his every move. The emergency alarms still echoed faintly in his ears as he watched the medics cart Lyra into the medical wing, her body twitching and convulsing uncontrollably. He had replayed the incident 1,000 times in his head, the benign gesture of offering a cookie morphing into a grotesque nightmare. A simple act of kindness spiraled into an interstellar incident with potentially devastating consequences. He knew he had only one option: find out exactly what had caused Lyra's violent reaction to the cookie. His first task was to analyze the chemical components of the treat. With frantic urgency, Alex downloaded the molecular composition from the spaceport's food storage database onto his handheld analyzer. The machine whirred and blinked as it processed the data, highlighting an unusual compound with ominous significance: PHENYLGLEIC7, a synthetic preservative banned in many parts of the galaxy due to adverse reactions in certain species. The compound, however, was not illegal on NOOA and had never before caused harm to humans. Yet, it seemed Lyra's Lian physiology had responded catastrophically to it. A burgeoning sense of dread settled in the pit of Alex's stomach as he reviewed his findings. While the science behind the phenomenon was now evident, he knew scientific facts wouldn't soothe inflamed political tensions. He needed proof to dispel the whispers of deliberate poisoning already circulating among the Lians, distrust fomented by ancient wounds. Navigating the increasingly tense atmosphere at the colony, With eyes of suspicion from both human and Lian alike bearing down upon him, Alex realized he had to take drastic measures. He needed a voice of Lian truth, and that voice could only come from none other than Lyra. He hurried to the medical wing, praying she would regain consciousness soon. When Alex arrived, Lyra was still unconscious, bathed in the eerie blue glow of diagnostic machinery attached to her. The medics were working diligently, trying to stabilize her metabolic responses, hindered as they were by the compound her body had ingested. Each beep of the machines seemed a countdown, ratcheting his anxiety to higher levels. He couldn't afford to lose her, both for her sake and the fragile thread of peace they represented. As the hours ticked by and he monitored the situation closely, an unexpected visitor entered the medical wing. Standing before him was a tall, stern-looking Lian, his skin a mottled emerald hue flecked with iridescent scales, a sign of his high rank within their society. His name was Korvath, an influential political figure among the Lians known for his resolute demeanor and unyielding nature. Korvath's expression revealed nothing, but his eyes glinted with an unreadable mixture of emotions, wariness, determination, perhaps even a concealed hope. He questioned Alex in his deep, resonant voice. "Have your findings shed light on this grievous incident?" With an unwavering gaze, Alex relayed his discoveries about PHENYLGLEIC-7, emphasizing that the incident was purely accidental. Korvath listened in patient silence, absorbing each detail. The information seemed to mollify him, but Alex knew well that political dynamics were far more intricate than simple explanations. Proof and verifiable sources were necessary to quell the roiling tensions. Korvath's stone-faced expression momentarily softened. "You must accompany me to Tyrion," he stated firmly. Tyrion was a planet historically known for its neutrality, a melting pot where treaties and deals were brokered centuries ago between various species, including humans and Lians. The proposition seemed desperate but might be their only hope. They needed to find a historic Lian-human treaty stored in the libraries of Tyrion. This document, believed by many to have established a period of peace and mutual respect long ago, could serve as the foundation for renewed diplomatic efforts. Without delay, Alex and Korvath prepared for their journey. Their vessel, a small but state-of-the-art starship equipped for rapid travel and stealth, hummed with readiness as they boarded. Every minute detail within the cockpit was a testimony to their grim mission. The polished control panels, the gleaming navigation systems calibrated for their perilous voyage. Navigating the labyrinth of stars and asteroids, the trip was perilous from the start. The uncharted space routes between NOOA and Tyrion were fraught with cosmic anomalies, gravitational distortions, and turbulent asteroid fields. As they traversed each obstacle, Alex found it difficult to dismiss the weighty significance of their quest, a journey of hope teetering on the precarious edge of disaster. Deep into their journey, the ship's sensors detected a menacing anomaly ahead. A vast nebula known as the Rift of Shadows loomed with incessant tendrils of cosmic fog threatening to ensnare them. Korvath and Alex exchanged terse nods, understanding the treacherous path lay beyond it. Expertly maneuvering through the disorienting gravitational forces and magnetic storms, they emerged on the other side, albeit with their vessel slightly damaged but still intact. Relief flooded through Alex, quickly replaced by renewed focus. They weren't out of danger yet. As they neared the coordinates for Tyrion, new obstacles presented themselves. Rogue elements from various factions that opposed human-Lian alliances patrolled these territories, turning their mission into a high-stakes cat-and-mouse game. Dark and silent expanses of space bespoke hidden dangers, pirate ships, disgruntled mercenaries, entities who benefited from sustained enmity between species. In a deft maneuver, they evaded a suspicious vessel that had been tailing them. Korvath's steely nerves and piloting skills were critical as they navigated hostile territories. A multitude of alien civilizations, some bearing grudges against both humans and Lians, controlled space they passed through. Any mistake could spell doom for their fragile peace mission. Reaching Tyrion, a planet of vast historical and spiritual importance, they exhaled collective sighs of relief. The planet orbited a dull yellow star, its atmosphere shimmering with ethereal hues of cyan and lavender. Yet, the serene exterior masked the contentious histories buried beneath its surface. Once a thriving knowledge nexus, Tyrion now was awash with echoes of past alliances and betrayals. The libraries of Tyrion, an enormous edifice carved into the planet's tallest mountain, emerged into view as they descended. Luminescent, crystalline spires jutted from the marbled structure, each etched with ancient runic inscriptions. Upon landing, they scurried towards the entrance, urgency propelling their steps. Inside, the library's grand halls stretched endlessly, filled with rows of ancient tomes and holographic archives. Guardians of Tyrion, enigmatic beings adorned in ornate robes woven from starlight, guided them to the Lian Human Treaties repository. Their expressionless faces and ethereal presence conveyed a profound gravitas. The search was arduous, involving meticulous cross-referencing scrolls and databases. The aftermath of the perilous journey towards Tyrion left Alex and Lyra exhausted, yet resolute. The ancient treaty, a remnant of an era when Lians and humans first attempted interstellar cooperation, lay within their grasp. The scroll-like document, shimmering with iridescent glyphs, thrummed with a legacy of long-forgotten diplomacy. Yet, their triumph was cut brutally short as an ambush threatened to dismantle their hard-won progress. Emerging from the shadowy crevices of Tyrion's ruins, a militant Lian faction known as the Zealots of Purity launched their attack. These extremists believed that only through maintaining racial purity could the Lians achieve their true destiny. The Zealots' leader, Valor, a towering figure whose physique was accentuated by jagged exoskeletal armor, commanded his forces with an iron grip. His mandibles clicked methodically as he barked orders to encircle Alex and Lyra. Laser fire cut through the air, bright lines of energy striking the ancient stone walls, sending debris cascading down like rain. Alex's heart raced, while Lyra's multifaceted eyes scanned the potential escape routes. They lacked heavy weaponry but carried the most potent shield, a determination to see peace prevail. Using the ruins' convoluted architecture to their advantage, they darted through narrow passageways and leapt over decrepit staircases. Their path was a treacherous labyrinth, littered with ancient relics and dormant technology. Lyra's keen instincts and genetic agility kept her a pace ahead, guiding Alex through the chaotic dance of survival. Despite the urgency, Alex couldn't help but marvel at the extraordinary structures around them. Towering monoliths bore the inscriptions of both human and Lian origins, telling a story of cooperation and shared wisdom. How had such a promising beginning devolved into such discordant chaos? The Zealots pursued relentlessly. Among their ranks was Aerith, a fierce warrior pledged to Valor's cause. Her armor of obsidian plates fused seamlessly with her organic form, her eyes glowing with an uncompromising zeal. Aerith harbored a personal vendetta against humans, having lost family in skirmishes from an era before Alex's birth. Her moves were calculated, her pursuit unwavering. As Alex and Lyra descended into what seemed a seldom-used tunnel, a faint light illuminated their path. The atmosphere thickened with an ethereal glow, interspersed with bioluminescent flora that seemed to respond to their presence. Yet tranquility was fleeting. The echoes of the Zealots' war chants reverberated off the ancient stones, the cold promise of no mercy hanging heavy in the air. Alex, breathless and adrenaline-fueled, felt the weight of the treaty and the lives it could affect dragging on his sense of duty. Lyra, her gaze somber yet resolute, slowed her pace momentarily to touch one of the glyph-inscribed stones. A hiss escaped her lips, her tension palpable. "We can't let them destroy this, Alex. It's not just a piece of history, it's our hope," Lyra stated, a resolute strength in her tone that belied her fatigued form. Their break was brief. Sounds of the Zealots' methodical advance grew louder, more threatening. And then, catastrophe struck. An explosive charge set by Valor himself detonated, sending shockwaves through the underground labyrinth. The blast hurled both Alex and Lyra against the cold stone walls, their vision blurring under the force. The treaty slipped from Alex's grip, sliding precariously close to an edge where an undercurrent of air hinted at a deep chasm. Valor and Aerith emerged from the shadows, eyes blazing with fervor. The militant leader raised his weapon, an advanced plasma rifle, aiming directly at the treaty. "And now," he proclaimed, his tone dark and final, "we end this charade of peace." In that critical moment, the treaty seemed defenseless against the incoming plasma fire. Yet, driven by pure instinct, Lyra dived forward. With impossible agility, she intercepted the beam with a reflective shard of the ancient ruins, a fragment that magnified the glyphic inscription's energy, redirecting the beam back towards Valor's weapon. The feedback loop sent Valor sprawling backward, gun dissolved in a cascade of discharged energy. Alex seized the moment, snatched the treaty and lofted it securely within his anti-grav pack. Then, defying their earlier injuries, he and Lyra sprinted deeper into the tunnel. They navigated through collapsing structures, the ancient walls closing in with an almost sentient malevolence. They eventually emerged into daylight, the stark contrast blinding them momentarily. Having reached an ancient courtyard overgrown with alien vegetation, they took a brief respite. Its canopy offered a patchy shelter, with iridescent leaves reflecting the various hues of Tyrion's multiple suns. Hovering silently above them was an emergency cruiser they'd deployed earlier, now camouflaged amidst the dense flora. With renewed determination, they embarked on the final leg of their journey, launching their small craft into the planet's orbit. As they accelerated towards the Lian High Council's flagship, Lyra's eyes caught a glimmer of hope amidst the viewport's myriad stars. Attached securely within Alex's suit was their prize, the treaty. The intricate language danced in reflected light, an artifact that could speak to hearts on both sides of the divide. Boarding the flagship, they were met with a mixture of skepticism and guarded curiosity. The High Council chamber, a grand assembly betraying the Lian's architectural prowess, stood imposing before them. Its walls shimmered with intricate mosaics depicting Lian mythology, harmonizing with holographic displays floating serenely in midair. Lyra stepped forward, her voice a resonant call for diplomacy. "Members of the High Council," she began, her tone commanding and earnest, "we stand before you not just as representatives of our species, but as bearers of our shared future." She laid the treaty, now preserved within a transparent stasis field, upon the central plinth. Eyes, both human and Lian, fixated on the ancient document. A wave of murmurs spread through the chamber, an undercurrent of historical reverence laced with the tension of current adversity. "Centuries ago," Alex interjected, "our ancestors envisioned a united frontier. Their dreams now lie within these glyphs. We implore you to look beyond the recent strife and consider the potential for a future built on mutual respect and cooperation." The chamber fell into a weighty silence. Councillor Zhao, an elder Lian with silver-tipped antennae and a gaze tempered by years of political maneuvering, stood. His presence commanded attention, the room turning its collective focus to his next move. His voice, though aged, carried the authority of countless deliberations. "History is both our burden and our guide." In the grand hall of the Interstellar Embassy, under the iridescent glow of the plasma chandeliers, Alex, Mercer, and Lyra stood poised to address the assembly of dignitaries that had gathered from countless planetary systems. The air was thick with anticipation, every eye focused on the unusual alliance that had defied the odds to reach this momentous occasion. The backdrop of the hall was adorned with holographic displays of the ancient treaty, its significance rejuvenated in the context of their renewed efforts. The renewed treaty was not just a piece of parchment, but a testament to the resilience and adaptability of both species. It carried the weight of ancient promises and modern hopes, a bridge spanning millennia of cultural evolution. As Alex and Lyra prepared to make their declarations, the magnitude of their journey weighed heavily upon them. The stage was set with an elaborate array of symbols representing harmony and unity. Flags of both human and Lian civilizations waved gently, stirred by the subtle breeze of the hall's climate control systems. The light from distant stars filtered through the crystalline dome above, casting a celestial glow across the gathering. Alex stepped forward first, his voice reverberating through the hall's acoustics. "Today, we stand on the precipice of a new era," he began, his words chosen with meticulous care to resonate with the diverse audience. "An era marked not by our differences, but by our common aspirations for peace, understanding, and cooperation." Lyra joined him, the luminescence of her scales capturing the ambient light. Her voice, melodic and rich, complemented Alex's measured tone. "Our journey here was fraught with danger, misunderstandings, and the ghosts of our shared past. But it has also revealed the extraordinary potential that lies within us to forge a future of mutual respect and unity." As they spoke, a hush fell over the crowd. Each word seemed to peel away layers of suspicion and fear, exposing the raw, shared desire for a lasting peace. The dignitaries, composed of an eclectic mix of ambassadors, scholars, military officials, and cultural emissaries, listened intently, their expressions betraying a blend of skepticism and cautious optimism. With the formalities of the treaty signing behind them, the atmosphere gradually shifted from solemnity to celebration. The grand cultural festival initiated a wave of activities that spread across the ambassadorial spaceport and beyond, into the planetary colonies that had long yearned for a semblance of peace. The festival was a marvel of cultural amalgamation, a vibrant tapestry of human and Lian traditions interwoven with art, music, and culinary delights. Stalls lined the thoroughfares, showcasing exquisite Lian crafts and human technological innovations. Concerts and performances captivated audiences with a harmonious blend of alien instruments and human melodies, each note a testament to the newfound partnership. The food stalls became a focal point of cross-cultural curiosity. Chefs from both civilizations collaborated, creating fusion dishes that paid homage to their diverse culinary heritages. Visitors eagerly sampled these creations, the shared experience of taste serving as a subtle yet powerful bridge between species. Among the highlights was a mesmerizing light show, where the night sky above the spaceport was transformed into a canvas of dazzling colors and patterns. Advanced projection systems wove together tales of historical events, myths, and legends from both cultures, captivating the audience with a story told through light and movement. As Alex and Lyra navigated the festival, they were greeted with smiles, gifts, and expressions of gratitude. Their presence had become emblematic of the peace they had fought so hard to attain. They made it a point to interact with as many attendees as possible, engaging in meaningful conversations that further strengthened the bonds of unity. Children, the true torchbearers of the future, were particularly drawn to Lyra. Her gentle demeanor and ornate appearance fascinated them, and she shared stories of her homeland, painting vivid pictures of landscapes and traditions that were worlds apart from their own experiences. Alex observed these interactions with a sense of fulfillment, recognizing that the seeds of peace were being sown in the hearts of the younger generation. However, beneath the veneer of celebration, there remained a current of uncertainty. The road to enduring peace was long, and old prejudices would not vanish overnight. It was a sentiment acknowledged by the dignitaries who convened for a solemn meeting on the penultimate day of the festival. Here, the treaty was dissected, and plans were laid out for its implementation and enforcement. Alex and Lyra played pivotal roles in these discussions. Their first-hand experiences and insights proved invaluable in navigating the delicate diplomatic terrain. They advocated for inclusive councils, ongoing cultural exchanges, and scientific cooperation as foundational pillars for building a sustainable future. The culmination of the festival was a grand procession through the spaceport, symbolizing the unbroken thread of intent that had carried them through their arduous journey. Alex and Lyra led the procession, their steps in unison, embodying the spirit of collaboration and solidarity that had come to define their partnership. As the procession wound its way to the central plaza, the assemblage came to a halt beneath a newly constructed monument, a towering representation of interlocking hands, one human and one Lian, reaching skyward in a gesture of unity. The monument, crafted from materials sourced from both worlds, was a tangible emblem of the peace they had pledged to uphold. The ceremony concluded with an address from Ambassador Thaloran, a revered elder of the Lian Council, whose wisdom had been instrumental in steering the diplomatic efforts. This day marks a triumph not of one over another, but of our shared humanity, or Lianity, as it might be, he said, eliciting a ripple of gentle laughter. May this monument serve as a reminder of what we can achieve when we transcend our fears and embrace our common purpose. The festival lights dimmed, but the echoes of laughter, music, and shared experiences lingered like a gentle whisper through the corridors of the spaceport. Alex and Lyra stood at the foot of the monument, reflecting on the journey they had undertaken, an odyssey that had transformed not just the galaxy, but themselves. As stars began to dot the twilight sky, they felt a sense of finality, yet also the promise of new beginnings. The path ahead was uncertain, marked by challenges yet unseen, but they were undeterred, buoyed by the collective will of those who believed in their vision. In the quiet that followed, a cosmic resonance seemed to affirm their efforts, a reminder that even the smallest acts could indeed lead to the grandest of changes. Alex turned to Lyra, his expression softened by the weight of their shared experience. "We've only just begun," he said, his voice steady with resolve. Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting the myriad of stars. "And together, we will continue," she replied, her words both a commitment and a promise. The galaxy watched, inspired by their example, reminded that in the vast expanse of space, unity was not just a possibility but a reality within their grasp. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.